Hello, this is Bob Young. I will be your narrator for this episode. This episode is entitled God Creates the Universe. It is the first of a series of videos that discuss a parable called Adam's God Phone. The parable of Adam's God Phone is primarily based on the revelations by Jesus to Mystic Luisa Piccarreta about the gift of living in the kingdom of the divine will. Other sources are used as well. As you can see, my email and website are shown below. My website is calltobefree.com. Now that recall, we've published videos already under the heading God's Secret Plan. There have been 8 videos. They're available on my website at calltobefree.com. If this is your first time that you've started watching these videos, I recommend you go back and watch video number 8, which reinforces and reviews the first 7 videos. Otherwise, if you're up to date, you can continue watching this video. Fasten your seatbelt for the next set of videos, starting with this one entitled Adam's God Phone Parable, which addresses the era of creation. Let me briefly mention the information resources used for the videos. The primary sources, first, of course, would be the volumes also known as the Book of Heaven, and the doctoral thesis written by Father Joseph Iannuzzi, Doctor of Sacred Theology, which is entitled The Gift of Living in the Kingdom of the Divine Will, in the writings of Luisa Piccarreta. This set of videos is focused primarily on Chapter 2, which is the fiat of creation, and I've used Father Iannuzzi's organization by era from his book. Obviously, I reference the Bible, primarily Genesis, the Catechism of the Catholic Church, we abbreviate as CCC, and I give the Holy Spirit the credit for coming up with the concepts of God Phone and parable. There are other sources I use also. The entire set of sources, go to my website at calltobefree.com and look under the Resources tab. Now recall, the word fiat is critical. Fiat is a shorthand way of saying, let it be done. God proclaimed 3 fiats to initiate the 3 eras. The fiat of creation was initiated by God the Father, the fiat of redemption by God the Son, the fiat of sanctification from God the Holy Spirit. Let's focus now on the fiat of creation. God's fiat creates the universe. He says fiat, and the universe comes into existence. God's fiat sustains the universe. He says fiat, and everything continues to move. God creates the universe in orderly steps. He creates a home for man, his ultimate creation. God creates time and space. Keep in mind that God is outside of time and space. Man's home is earth, the Garden of Eden. God creates living plants for food. God creates living animals for helpmates. God creates man in his image and likeness. We're going to spend a lot of time discussing that. So let's visualize this. God's fiat creates the earth. There's the earth. God's fiat creates the living plants. He says fiat, and plants come into being. And God's fiat creates living creatures. He says fiat, and suddenly all these creatures come into existence. Then God's fiat creates man. He says fiat, man appears. The fact is, God's fiat creates man in his image. He says fiat, man is not only created, but he's created in the image of God. And that's represented by the image of God living within man. And God's fiat not only creates man, it sustains man. So his fiat creates man moving, if you will. If God forgot about man, man would cease existing instantly. God names the first man Adam. God created Adam in the creation era, the first of the three eras. Recall that Jesus tells Luisa that there are three eras. The era of creation, the era of redemption, the era of sanctification. The era of redemption starts in the year 1, when Jesus was conceived. The sanctification era starts about the year 2000 with Luisa Piccarreta. Adam was created in the creation era. What year did God create Adam? Jesus tells Luisa that he created Adam about the year 4000 BC. Jesus does not tell Luisa when he created the universe. Now, why did God create man? This is from the Catholic Catechism. God, infinitely perfect and blessed in himself, and a plan of sheer goodness, freely created man to make him share in his own blessed life. For this reason, at every time and in every place, God draws close to man. He calls man to seek him, to know him, and to love him. Man gives his fiat to return love to God. And this graphic shows that. And he does that continuously. Now, why did God create the universe? God created the universe for only one reason, for man. Jesus tells Luisa how material creation reflects God's divine qualities he infused within the depths of man's spiritual soul. God created the universe to display his divine qualities to man. God displays these qualities in a material form so that man can comprehend and appreciate. Creation symbolizes God's divine qualities. Jesus identifies to Luisa how creation specifically reflects the divine qualities God infused within the depths of man's soul. The skies reflect his divinity, steadfastness, and immutability. The sun reflects his majesty. The wind, his sovereignty. The air, his incessant life. The sea, his purity, solace, and refreshment. The waves, his continuous love. And most importantly, in my mind, creation reflects the light, which is showing the knowledge of God and the created world. Then on the seventh day of creation, God rests. At this moment, Adam lived in the kingdom of the divine will. That shows Adam living in the divine will. Peace and harmony reign. Everything is in order. God's creatures are fulfilling their purpose. These episodes will be continued. Remember, we are being called to be apostles of love, apostles of the end time.